Hey guys, I give you a little short explanation about which class and which weapon you should choose for your Dark Souls 1 any percent no hit run. First of all, these are my thoughts. I'm talking about a lot like how I run in my runs, and I try to add the routing strats from other people, like which class they choose and which weapon they choose as well. Alright, so let's go over it. We have here every single class first, which is available in Ds1. The level of the class, the abilities are here, and later on we go for the weapons. So first of all, which abilities are important? So I'm talking here right now about a melee no-hit run. So we're not talking about using sorceries, miracles, pyromancies. It's just using melee weapons and the bow. Oh, I forgot the bow over here, but this is not that important. So for melee, we only need endurance. Let's make that green. We need strength. Oh, and dexterity. Perfect. Oops. There we go. These are the three abilities we really need. All the others are not important for us. And because they are not important, I will delete them. So, right now we have only the level and the three abilities we really need for our any percent no hit run. So, which class should I choose? Obviously the class which gives you the most stats for this ability, right? Right. Maybe not. We will see. So the warrior, 12 endurance, 30 strength, 30 dexterity is pretty good. So now we are here with the knight, 10 endurance, 11 strength, 11 strength, 11 dexterity. This is not as good as the warrior. Both start with a normal sword and with a shield, which we don't need. So let's say we don't choose the knight, because warrior knight are pretty similar on the starting weapons, and especially on these classes the starting weapons are not important. So that means I'm deleting the knight. Now we have here the Wanderer. He has 14 dexterity, which is not that bad, because when we go later on for example for the halberd, dexterity is really important, but only 10 strength and 10 endurance. Here is it the same. The starting weapon is not that important on the Wanderer, and 10, 10, 14, we have almost 14 here with the warrior, but more on the others. So that means Wanderer, nah, we don't need the Wanderer. Now we come to the Thief. The Thief has only 9 endurance, 9 dexterity, but 9 strength, but 15 dexterity. So here's the thing. This looks really bad right now compared to the warrior, but the Thief has automatically the master key. So that means we can choose a different trinket for the beginning. For example, black fire bombs, which are really, really strong in this game. A lot of speedy boys using the Thief, especially for the black fire bombs, because you can use just 5 to kill Asylum Demon really, really quick, and you have 5 left, which is pretty good. The Thief is definitely a class you can choose for the beginning, even though the endurance and strength is not that high. So we keep the Thief. Now we come to the Bandit Knife. 14 endurance, 14 strength, and 9 dexterity. So the Bandit Knife is also pretty good, because he already starts with the Bandit Axe over here, which is obviously a good weapon for the early game, and a lot of people, me as well, using the Bandit Axe for the early game. So he starts with the Bandit Axe. That means we don't have to get it later. We already have it, and endurance and strength is pretty good. The only thing which is not that good is the dexterity is only on 9. And to use the bow, we need wait, let me check that really quick. I don't want to say wrong things. We mostly use the longbow, which needs 9 strength and 14. All right. 9, and 14. There we go. I forgot the bow. What a mess. What a mess, guys. Ooh. There we go. So that means so with a warrior, we just need 1 level to use the bow. This is easy. With the thief, we can already use the bow. And with bandit knife, we can't use the bow. We need 5 levels. And 5 levels right at the beginning is not a lot, but it's kind of a lot. The thing is here, you can go for gargoyles first and Quelaag second. Obviously, strats with the bow in the church before gargoyles are way safer, but there are some strats you can use without using the bow to get hitless through the church. But for beginners, I would recommend, if you really want to use the bandit axe, which has the bandit, and you can't use the bow, you should go for Quelaag first, because you don't need the bow for Quelaag split, and then you can level up a little bit, and then you can use the bow. So the bandit is definitely a class you can choose. Now we have here the hunter. He already starts with the short bow. I will recommend the longbow. This is not normal bow, this is the longbow. I would recommend the longbow. Just makes more damage, is a little bit better because of the damage. The starting weapons on the hunter are not that important. I mean, he starts with already 30 arrows, but yeah, we don't need that much. So we have 11 endurance, 12 strength, and 14 dexterity. This is not that bad. Compared to the warrior, this is almost the same. It's a little bit here less, a little bit here more. You can already use the bow at the beginning. I would say this is really comparable to the warrior. There were some strats to get the what is it called, the great scythe as the first, like as the main weapon for the any percent, and the great scythes are in the catacombs. And in the catacombs, like you all know, a lot of skeletons, and the hunter was a good choice for that, because you have the bow, 30 arrows, and you can like attack the skeletons and they fell to their death. But we are not talking about the Grey Scythe today, because it's really risky and I wouldn't recommend it. And most of the time we used back in the days quit outs, which are not anymore allowed. So the hunter, I wouldn't start with that, not that good. So the sorcerer, as you can see, is for sorcery, it's bad. We don't need the sorcerer. Bad starting abilities, gone. Now we come to the pyromancer. So the pyromancer is here the thing. Yes, he starts with level 1. That means you can level more. But this is too bad. Like, you could start with it, but it wouldn't make a difference, because when you level up 3 more levels, you have, let's say, here 1, and here 1, then you have 12, 13, and 10, and it's not even like here on the warrior. So pyromancer, no, we don't need him. Cleric, I mean, I don't have to talk about that. He's clearly not better than the others. And now we come to deprived. So he is really flat on the abilities, 11, 11, 11, but he's level 6, and this is pretty high. So this I wouldn't recommend, especially the starting weapon is not the best for the beginning, like early beginning, and he has no special things. I wouldn't recommend the deprived because of that. So we have only 3 classes: the warrior, the thief, and the bandit knife. So the thief is more kind of speedy beginning. The bandit, the bandit is a good class because he starts with the bandit axe. And the warrior is pretty good in the early abilities, and you have not the best starting weapon like the bandit, but that doesn't matter, because now we come to the weapons. For the start, like the early game, and I'm talking here about from the beginning from the Firelink, after the Firelink, after Asylum, after Firelink to Anon Londo. I'm talking here about this early game. You or most of people, and me as well, using the Bandit Axe or the normal Halberd, which is here, right here. So here it comes. The Bandit Axe deals less damage than the Halberd when you upgrade it, but it's a little bit faster, and you can stagger, for example, the gargoyles more than with a Halberd. So this is a thing you should try it out. What feels better for you? Like what is better? But I will recommend the Bandit Axe or the Halberd. I started with the Halberd. It's pretty decent. You deal a lot of damage, especially with the RTSR. You have a, for me, good move set from the weapon. If you want to go a little bit faster, then you can go the Bandit Axe, because you can buy the Bandit Axe on Andre. The Halberd is pretty close to the church, but I will recommend those both. These are, in my opinion, the best two starting weapons for the early game. Later on, you can choose. So the Black Knight Halberd is by far one of the strongest weapons in this game. The problem here is you kill one Black Knight, or maybe not, but let's say you want the Black Knight Halberd. You kill the Black Knight in the woods after getting the RTSR, and there's a chance to get the Black Knight Halberd. I would recommend to use one humanity before killing the Black Knight to get the Black Knight Halberd, because then you increase the chance that you get the drop. But let's say you got the drop, so then we have 32 strength and 18 dexterity, which we need to handle it. So we need 18 dexterity. This is really important. And here we see with the thief and the warrior, they are pretty close to the 18. The bandit, not that much. We don't need 32 strength necessarily, because with 23 you can use the Black Knight Halberd in two hand. Most of the time we're using weapons in two hand, not in one hand. So we need, let's say for the beginning and everything, we need, oh, this doesn't work, that's bad. We need 23. So here's the thing. You need, like, it doesn't matter which class you choose. If you choose the thief, the bandit, or the warrior, you need a lot of levels to level the to level yourself to get the stats for the Black Knight Halberd. Most of the time, you also need a lot of endurance, because otherwise you have a mid-roll or even maybe fat roll. So that means the Black Knight Halberd, this takes a while. This is not for the early, this is for the mid and late game. Let's say from Anon Londo, there you can use it. So you can get it really early at the beginning, but you probably can start using it in Anon Londo, not earlier. I was able to play with it a little bit earlier, for example for Iron Golem or in Sense, but there you have to unequip and equip the bow and maybe the shield sometimes, because you don't have enough endurance in the normal routing. So the Black Knight Halberd, as I said, is one of the best weapons, especially for the mid and end game, if you get the drop. So what we're gonna do if we don't get the drop? We choose the Crystal Halberd. The Crystal Halberd is right at the beginning in Anon Londo. If you kill the Mimic, the Crystal Halberd is super fucking strong, and you get it for free. It's like you have to kill the mimic and then you get it for free. You can repair it. You need at least one chunk for the whole run to upgrade it later to repair it, because it has only 25 durability. But this is not a difficult thing. Most of the time you should get a chunk. For example, on this big giant who throws the bombs and sends. So this is not a problem with repairing the crystal halberd. The crystal halberd, if you don't get the black knight halberd, the crystal halberd is a really good weapon. It's the same weapon than the normal halberd. It's just crystal and deals more damage. You also need the same abilities here. Okay, to the point when you get the crystal halberd, this is like you already have this way higher, so this is not a problem. And yeah, you have the same pattern. If you go for the halberd first and then just switch to the crystal halberd, you have not a big change of how I use the weapon. So I definitely recommend using the crystal halberd for the mid and late game right after Iron Golem. So then there's also the blacksmith giant hammer. A lot of people using the blacksmith giant hammer, not for the whole run, so they use the black knight halberd or the crystal halberd, and sometimes switching to the blacksmith giant hammer. For example, Four Kings, because Four Kings is a little bit weird with all this abyss and black, and it looks weird when you attack with a halberd. Sometimes it's not that easy to hit them, and the blacksmith giant hammer makes it a little bit easy because he's shorter and the pattern is easier to handle, I would say. You can get it from the blacksmith giant in Anor Londo if you kill him. He only needs 16 strength. You should buy or get before using it 10 twinkling titanites to upgrade it to +5. Yes, to +5. So this is not a thing you really need, but this is a thing you could try out. So if you're not feel comfortable with Four Kings or something like that with the halberd, try out the blacksmith giant hammer. I never used it in the normal 90%. You could try it, easy peasy. So overall, I would say choose the warrior. This is for all beginners I would say most chill class. He has good ability stats. You start with a master key. You start with a sword, with a long sword, which is not that important because you get the bandit axe or the halberd really quick, and you can also use them really quick. The same with the bow, with the longbow, because you only need 1 into dexterity. If you want to be a little bit more speedy, choose the thief with the fire bombs, the black fire bombs. There you will have more to skill into strength to use the weapons, but this shouldn't be a problem at the beginning. And if you say, okay, I don't use the halberd anyways, I will go for the battle axe, you could definitely choose the bandit. As I said, I would recommend to kill Quelaag first because you don't need a bow there. Then you can skill up the dexterity and can use the bow for the church before gargoyles. I hope this little guide showed you a little bit which weapon is helpful, which class I should choose. If you have any questions more in detail, just ask me on Discord, Kazoodle on the Hitless Discord as well. And yeah, I hope this will help you guys for choosing a class that was a little bit short, that was a little bit spontaneously. So excuse me for some little mistakes I maybe made. Alright guys, see you. Bye bye.